let me introduce myself. My name is Elena Chernysheva. I'm a communication specialist working for two global GEF programs executed by GGKP, Farm and Islands, and I will be your webinar moderator today. But I'm also excited to be a part of this conversation. As a communication specialist, I really wanted to listen from our speakers and from the countries about their experience on raising awareness on this complicated topic. Today's webinar is a part of the global knowledge sharing activities conducted by the Green Growth Knowledge Partnership, or GGKP, under the GEF-funded UNEP-led project Global Development, Review and Update of National Implementation Plans under the Stockholm Convention on Persistent Organic Pollutants, which we all know as the Global NEP Update Project. Today, we will focus on a practical challenge many NEP teams face: how to effectively engage the private sector and the general public on POPs issues. To help address this, we'll be introducing two ready-to-use outreach and awareness-raising packages, one for each audience, along with the guidance on how to adapt them to your national context. And we're very pleased to have a representative of Seychelles and Cameroon with us, who will share their country's experiences in awareness raising on POPs. After the speaker's presentation, we will have some time for a short Q&A. So, as I mentioned, please submit your questions in the Q&A box and we will try to address them. If we don't have time to address all the questions, we will invite you to join the Green Forum after the webinar and continue your conversation there and ask more questions and exchange more experiences there. So a very warm welcome from the GGKP team to all of you who joined today, and let's get started. So our first speaker is Melina Valevats, the GGKP consultant and an expert in capacity building interventions at local, national, and regional levels. And she will present these two POPs outreach and awareness raising packages, one for the private sector and one for the general public. And Melina, please join us and share your screen. We are very excited to see these packages.
Thank you, Elena. I will share can you just...
We can see it yes, now we can see it in the full screen, yeah.
Okay. Can you see it? Okay. So thank you, Elena. Thank you very much. I'm, as you already said, introduced me. I'm not communication expert. I'm actually chemical engineer, and I was engaged as a NEP update expert in Bosnia and Herzegovina. But I was also involved in several projects related to POPs outreach inside my country. So I'm very glad to had this opportunity to this is very important topic, because implementation of critical measures in NEPs around reducing POPs should be started with the broader public understanding and awareness. It's very important topic. So, you already said about this project context. This work is part of the Global NEP Update project, specifically under the Green Growth Knowledge Partnership, which deals with the knowledge sharing and dissemination. So this project supports participating countries in meeting obligations from the Stockholm Convention alignment, as we all know, under the Article 7 and 15, particularly regarding NEP reviews and national reporting, but not only on a technical level, also in terms of communication and public engagement. And that's actually where this assignment comes in. The idea was to translate the technical and regulatory content around persistent organic pollutants into practical, accessible, and audience-appropriate communication materials. So in the next slides, I will walk through this approach. So as mentioned before, two separate outreach packages have been developed, one for the private sector and the other one for the general public.
Sorry,
All
Belina,
through,
I think we don't see the slides moving.
Assignment objective.
No. Maybe you should stop sharing and start sharing again because we don't see them moving.
Okay.
Sorry
Let
for
me
interrupting.
just, yeah. It's, I don't know how to just escape. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you
Yes.
see that?
Yeah.
Maybe now?
Yeah. But we don't see it yes. Perfect. Now we can see perfect. Yeah. So just click anywhere on the screen now. So to remove this window. Oh no.
Okay.
Lost again.
Here? Can you?
Yes, we see the third slide. Yeah, you will need to click through them.
Okay.
Yep.
So you can see now.
Yes, assignment objectives. Yes.
Okay, great. I will just go through the what outreach materials I developed. It's for private sector and for general public because all through both packages addressed POPs. They serve for different purpose and are based on the different communication approaches. For the private sector, focus was placed on encouraging reporting and cooperation aligned with the Stockholm Convention. It should promote safe practices and environmentally sound chemical management and sector-specific guidance on POPs phase-out and alternatives. From the other hand, general public are not really motivated for reporting anything, but we have to raise awareness with the focus on vulnerable and economically disadvantaged communities, and that outreach package should be clear, accessible, and gender sensitive with the practical tips, checklists, and behavior-oriented guidance. Before I started with the development of these outreach materials, I started with a desk review and analysis. So I try to gather as much as possible information about previous outreach packages and information shared through the Secretariat web page, etc. And that helped me to develop content. And it is very important to say that those both packages was then shared through the GGKP channel with the stakeholders, and we get some feedback received from stakeholders incorporated during the validation and finalization phase. And at this point, I would like to thank all that bring their comments and share with us their thoughts, etc.
Melina, I think that
next slide.
No, we can't see the flies moving. What if we ask Sumin to share from her side? I think it's a bit of a problem with moving slides.
Just let me, maybe I can, I'll go, okay. Okay, so I will stop share.
Yeah.
I don't know because, end slide now.
So now we see priority groups for general public outreach. But if it's easier, we can ask Sumin to share from her side. So everything is going smoothly.
Okay.
Right? Is it easier? Would it be easier?
Elena, like maybe you could try once more to share
Yes,
your
I will.
slide, and if you
Okay.
don't
Yes.
work, I will do it.
Can you see this?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yes, now it works.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I don't know where this problem comes, because okay.
No, it
So
happens sometimes, yeah.
yeah. So first, as I said before, I started with the desk review, show that many outreach materials on POPs already exist.
Melina,
Yes,
it's back again.
What?
It's
Can
back
you?
again. We cannot see the slide mode.
Okay,
should not.
let us
Okay.
take like
Okay.
3 seconds to
Okay.
fix this. So Sumin, can you try to share from your side?
Yes, I will try.
Yeah, I'm on the slide observation from the desk review. So
yeah.
but if
Yeah.
you cannot see it,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sorry for these, dear colleagues, but these like technical
Sorry.
issues that happen sometimes. That's why we have backup options. Just bear with us. In a couple of seconds, we will be back with this amazing presentation by Melina.
Could you stop sharing screen, Melina?
Okay.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Sumin. Sorry, colleagues. Sorry, Melina, for interrupting you, but please continue. They're very, very interesting.
Okay. Hope we will not have any problems more. So as I said before, initial findings from the desk review show that many outreach material on POPs already exist at the international and regional levels. However, they often fragmented, sometimes too technical, or not sufficiently adapted to different target groups. This is especially relevant for the private sector, where companies often need short, practical, sector-specific guidance that connects POPs obligations with everyday operational decisions. At the same time, information prepared for the general public is frequently sometimes too technical or maybe not clear enough to encourage understanding and to motivate for the action. The review also confirmed that communication, of course, should be adapted to the audience. Technical stakeholders require more detail, specific information, while non-technical audience need clear language, simple explanation, practical examples. And also case studies are very good very helpful for that. As a part of the desk review, relevant guidance documents, technical reports, and national reports were available on the Stockholm Convention Secretariat, were analyzed, and a lot of material were used also for this POPs outreach material. I have to say that I would say that public awareness is generally much higher for the old POPs, such as PCB and certain pesticides. However, there is still limited understanding of newer or less familiar substances, including, for example, DECA, BDE, PFAS is now very attractive, popular, UV 328, etc. So these new POPs should be more outreached. So next slide. For this reason, this outreach material placed a strong emphasis on clear and audience-appropriate terminology. So for private sector, desk review indicated that outreach was tailored to the different industries and their specific processes. The materials not only raised awareness, but also should help companies understanding the risk on POPs and the reason for their substitution. An important finding was that POPs management was not presented only as a regulatory obligation. It should be framed as an opportunity for innovation improved competitiveness, and long-term sustainability. That's also part of the private sector POPs outreach material for the private sector, for the industries. In that context, green chemistry principles, cleaner production, etc., provided as a practical pathway for companies to move toward safer alternatives while protecting human health and environment. And finally, stakeholder engagement, that was a part of this development of this outreach material, was important part of the assignment. This consultation organized by GGKP and thanks to Sumin and other GGKP team and regional executing agencies provided feedback from the public authorities, private sector representatives, and the other relative stakeholders, which helped a lot to frame better this outreach material. So next slide. So as I said before, effectively communication POPs related issue to both general public and private sector. Outreach material need to be based on clear understanding of different stakeholder involved. This is important to ensure that communication is relevant, inclusive and practical for them, interesting for them. For example, sector as production of textile, pesticides use, metal processing, construction, waste management may be directly involved in use, presence or management of POPs. For these sectors, outreach material should be specific, practical, and linked to their real operation need. Next slide. And this following table presents the proposed priority sectors, the reason for targeting them, and the main outreach assumptions. So I will not go through all of them. I will just wanted to show you that I had to think about why to target each sector, what is main for that outreach. For example, for textile sector, as you can see here, POPs may still be present in flame retardant, stain repellent, and water-resistant treatment. As for the construction and demolition, why to target them? Because in older buildings may contain POPs in insulation forms, wiring, paints, and coating, etc. So as I said before, this POPs outreach material was framed upon the sector need. So next slide. Then continue with the other sectors. For example, this slide continues the same logic, but focus on use, waste, and market entry points. For example, airports and fire brigades are important because of PFOS-based foams that may still be in use, and training areas may be contaminated. From the other side, waste and recycling operators need very practical process guidance, including what not to burn, what to look for, etc. So next slide, please. So for the general public outreach, this slide introduces first group of priority audience. Well, people who may come into contact with POPs through everyday products, agriculture, informal work. The main point is that outreach for the general public should not be abstract or overall technical. For households, for example, the message should be practical regarding all electronics, textile, pesticides, similar products can contain hazardous chemicals and safe disposal and safer alternative matters. That's something that households should be care about. From the other side, for farmers, for example, the focus should be on the risk on banned or unregulated pesticides, especially the products brought through the informal or illegal channels. For informal sector workers, the materials should be very simple and action-oriented because these workers may be exposed through the waste handling and e-waste recycling without knowing the risk. Here we healthcare professionals was one of the group that this outreach material also covered. They are very important because they are trusted source of advice and can help connect chemical exposure with health concerns. They do not need highly technical, of course, chemical profiles, but they do need clear information on possible health links and prevention messages. Next slide. I'm just list. These are the list of the different general public outreach groups. And you can see that one of the groups was environmental activists, media actors, educational centers, or academia. For example, media actors are especially important because they can translate technical content into public stories. For them, materials should include short explanation, clear facts, example, and messages that are easy to communicate. Educational centers and academia are important for long-term impact because the materials can be integrated into curriculums, lectures, and training programs. Next slide. So when we developed these outreach materials, at the very start, we had to think about communication and dissemination strategy. First, we are taking as a digital first approach. Rather than relying on traditional printed brochures or long reports, we will focus on short, clear and engaging messages that can be easily shared through social media, website, and other digital channels. Second, all content will be tailored to the audience, as I said before. For technical audience, we developed developed fact sheets and sector-specific guidance. And for general public, we frequently use questions, simple action-oriented guides, and visual formats. And third, strategic dissemination. I will talk more about that at the end of this presentation, where I will share with you my some implementation guide. So now I will present POP's outreach for the private sector. As I said, so next slide, please. Great. Previous. I'm sorry. So as I said before, it is designed around sectors, enabling stakeholder groups to be more identify their specific interest, exposures, decision points, and potential contribution to risk reduction. And next slide. It is designed to have first step as short social media message as I said, I'm not communication specialist, but I'm well aware that today these short messages mean a lot, because it is that should motivate a future reader to open something and read more carefully for and read more carefully. So this short social media package was developed, consisting of proposed set of engaging headlines and brief messages designed to attract attention quickly and encourage readers to engage further. So for each sector, different messages was developed. And you can use it through the, as I said, social media packages. And next slide, please. Or as an email communication. Second, next slide. Second step is after someone read this short message and click on the link or open the email message, they should find this sector focused information set. It was developed as a question and answer format to support practical understanding and follow-up action. And for the private sector, we wanted to give answer on 4 questions. First one, which POPs chemicals are used in the sector, and why does it matter? Second one, where have POPs historically been used, and how can legacy contamination occurs? Third, why can restricted or banned chemicals still be found on the market, and what makes their identification and control difficult? And fourth questions, what responsibility does the sector have in reducing POP-related risks? What they can do? And this set also have some dedicated section about POPs cases that are specific for each sector. These short sector-relevant narratives were designed to make the issue more tangible and illustrating how POPs can appear in a real operation, supply chains, legacy practices, or contaminated sites. And at the end, a glossary section was included as well, providing short explanation of key abbreviations and additional background on the chemicals referenced in the material. Next slide. As I said before, as a part of sector-focused information set was answered on a question, what responsibilities does the sector have in reducing POPs-related risk? And as a part of that specific paragraphs, we have 7 topics for each sector. Stay informed, check, control, monitor, consider alternatives, direct protection is essential, protect workers, community, and environment, report and participate, use gender-responsive approach. Next slide. And here is how it should perhaps could look like after this short message, or maybe email, a catchy message. You should have this kind of material designed. But Sumin will probably say at the end that she also prepared this POPs outreach material in PowerPoint, where you can translate it in your own language and also adapt to the national need. Now I would like to share with you, maybe I can share now. I would like to share with you this Word, this outreach material, but in a Word version. It's for the private sector, so that you can see. I think it's private sector, share. I hope you see it. So this is how it looks like. And as I said, for each sector, I will start with the textile and leather, maybe. Here you first you have this short message that is I would find it's easy to communicate, and then it is a text that will be used for the some kind of brochure or leaflet or something like whatever you want to use on a national level. So, as I said before, four questions were answered: which POPs chemicals are used and why does it matter? And it's specifically for that sector. For example, for this textile industry, I'm talking about PBDE, I'm talking about PFOS and etc. And where have POPs historically been used? And what responsibility does the textile and leather industry have in reducing POPs? Here, for example, specifically for this sector, when we talk about alternatives, here it's mentioned that we suggest that reader should visit also some solution-oriented platforms and tools that include chemical alternatives database. And here are some proposals for that. For example, it's only for the textile. At the end, it's very important that each of these sector-specific parts have also a part about reporting. There we motivate reader to from some industries to inform more and to report if they have any chemicals or POPs chemicals, or if they have some contaminated areas around, because national focal points could help them, or I don't know, ministries, whoever, help them to solve that problem, something like that. So this is the part where each national focal points or relevant ministry, I don't know who is contact person for that purpose in your countries. After that, we have here parts about some cases in textile related to textile industry, but also I have to say that you can also, and you should, if you are going to use this POPs outreach material in your countries, that you should maybe use some some cases that are more close, that are inside of your country or in your region as well. At the end, glossary. And for each sector's same approach was, we had the same approach. For metal processing industry, for POPs in plastic and rubber, for electrical and electronic equipment sector, then in construction sector. I'm just running through this material, but you will have it. You will receive it for your use. Transport sector. Yeah. Here we are talking about PBDE and PFOS and etc. And airports, fire brigades, PFOS contamination, what to do, why we have it today, how to report it, to who to report, etc. And it's very important to have these POPs cases that would motivate a lot airports around the in your countries. Waste and recycling sector, also farming associations and small agribusinesses. And that's all for the private sector. I will stop share now. And we had this, I will invite you now to maybe I can, okay. I will invite you now to maybe just think about to participate in this WCLAP.com questionnaire. These are if you can see, you just have to go to WCLAP and but if that will be too if that would be too complicated, then we can maybe skip also.
So Sumin shared that in the chat that you can scan the QR code to use your phone,
Okay.
for example. We also have a link in the chat, so you can go there and you will see
Okay.
in the top of the page, enter code to join a WCLAP event, and the code is pops out. So if everyone try to do this, I think that we can make it work.
Yeah, let us try. I
Yeah.
have here 14 now. I see here
Yeah.
14 people, so I will wait a little bit more because this question will be there, and you have minutes, 1.5 minutes to answer. It's very short. I just want to catch your opinion about those topics. Okay, let's try to have at least 20 people. I don't know how many people are here now. Okay. So I will start with the first question. Which channels do you think would be most effective for reaching private sector stakeholders? Is it Chamber of Commerce, sector specific association, LinkedIn, Ministry of or agencies, trade fair works, inspection or direct emails, other? Interesting. Maybe I can share the results.
So you're seeing some interesting findings, right, Melina?
Yeah. As you can see here, we still have some. We still have more, still sometimes. But actually, that's something that I also think about. Yeah. So most of you think that sector specific, yeah, that's something that I also had in mind, but sector specific agencies are the best channel for this private sector outreach. Yeah, and that's really the true, because whenever here in my country, whenever we wanted to share some thoughts and or to collect some answers, we use that sector specific agencies and also Chamber of Commerce. That's and the other question now, which format would private sector stakeholder be most likely to use? Is it
So, dear colleagues, you should be in the same screen. It's just the
yes,
question updated.
yes,
Just stay on the same screen and answer.
yes,
Okay. I see that
yes,
someone managed. Okay, great.
yes. And it is very important to think about that, because sometimes even very good outreach material, when produced, if it's not shared through the channel that is more convenient for that sector, then it's lost of time, really.
On that note, I will try my best.
And also for the format, yes.
That, for example, for this report thing, I will, yeah, I discussed with.
Case study for the similar sectors are really good for private sector, because they would like to see what specific in their sector is case. So I would agree with that, and also practical checklists. Thank you. It's very good. Maybe we can discuss it later, because now we don't have much time about that. I will say just a few more words about general public. Yeah, it's we analyzed here consumers and households, healthcare workers, media actors, farmers, workers in informal sector, environmental activists, non-governmental organizations, NGOs, and academia. And next slide, please. Yeah, again, approach was the similar, because first step is short social media message, visually engaging message designed for social media or the digital platforms, using familiar products, environments, or activities such as household items, maybe food preparation, clothing, toys, agriculture, or healthcare settings, to highlight where POPs may be present in everyday life. I prepared these two material just easily with AI. Now it's very fast by using my short message that I already prepared. And next slide. Second format was similar as for the private sector, but we don't have that four questions, but question and answer was more tailored to each target groups. And again, we have that set with the fact sheet with the examples illustrating real world POPs exposure and impact. And at the end, we have a glossary section included as well. And now next slide, I guess I will go through I will go through this private sector. So now I can share again. Similar as for the as I said, for the private sector, we still have short message, and then some answers, some question and answers that, from my point of view, I think would be interesting for that group. For example, and again, a lot of case studies for healthcare workers. What POPs and why should we care? How do people get exposed? What health effects are linked to POPs, for example? Why it is important for health professionals to pay attention, etc. And some cases, and for media actors, similar. So you will get all this material prepared, and you can go through, and I hope you will use it on a national level. So I will stop share now. Again, we have this question and answers, but I think that we don't have enough time since it's 47, I don't know.
We have 7 more minutes for your presentation,
Yes,
Melina,
yes,
so
yes.
you decide.
Yeah, I will use it to go through the presentation because it is very important part. Next slide, please, about implementation. Yeah. Now, when you will receive this on a national level, this POPs outreach material, but how you have to prepare it and review the full package and identify national priorities. Authorities should begin by reviewing both outreach packages in full and identify priority target groups in national context. I don't know for each country's which sector is most important. This should take into account sectors which known or suspected POPs relevance, groups with higher exposure or lower access to information. Next slide. That was the step 1. The step 2 is to select the most relevant materials and formats. After identify priorities, authorities should select the components that are most useful for national application. This may include short digital messages for social media, sector-specific Q&A, fact sheets, checklists for household workers, up to your relevant. Step 3, next slide. Adapt, this is very important actually, because all this outreach material was developed as a general material, and you should adapt it to the content of the national context. Selected material should be as appropriate. You should replace generic reference with the relevant national institution and pointed their contact points. Is it focal person or is it someone from the ministry? And you should align terminology with the national legal framework. Next slide. And again, validate adapted content with the relevant stakeholder. It would be good if you share this outreach material before disseminating on a national level, to share with some of the stakeholders from the private sector and with some NGOs, etc. Next step. As I said, very important is to choose dissemination channel and the timing. To maximize visibility and engagement, dissemination also should also, where appropriate, be aligned with the relevant international and national observance day and public event. I said here inside of my material that I submit some examples like European Researchers' Nights for the academic community or World Environment Day, or etc. You should decide how and when to outreach this material. Next slide. And also, which network should be used for this dissemination? The best way is for the private sector, use Chamber of Commerce and special association for the private sector. But also for the public, it's an NGO, schools, academic partners, media outlets, etc. Next slide. And it is very important whenever you can to collect feedback and record lessons learned. And next slide. I also added some comprehensive checklist for national use, just to not forget something before use it. It's very important, and but you can read it as a part of the material. And next slide. And also part of the material that is submitted, and you will have it, is very comprehensive outreach matrix for different POPs stakeholders. For example, when we are thinking about fire brigades, airport, and emergency services, this is some best proposal, best channels for the outreach. And this is recommended formats. It is not the same for, it is just as a proposal, but different, but you will have, of course, different experience, and you should use it. And next slide, I think it is the end. Yeah, again, just again, this table where I suggest different formats, best channels for different stakeholder groups. And actually, that is we are coming to the end of my presentation. Next slide. This is, as I'm end of my time also, maybe we can discuss and you can share your opinion, what would be the most important condition for successful use of these outreach materials on the national level. That's just, I don't know if we should, if Club is open, and if you can,
Because we will be there from the 26th
if you can share your thoughts with us about this. Can you see that question?
Yes, we can see it.
Yes. Yeah, and this is the final question.
Yeah. So, dear
But we can
colleagues,
also, yes, but we
Yeah.
can also discuss it in a Q&A session or, yeah. Thank you all. And if you have
Yeah.
any questions, I'm here to answer. Glad.
Thank you, Melina. That was very interesting and impressive amount of work done to develop so many tailored messages for all the industries, for all the small groups and segments of the audience. I think it will be incredibly helpful to the countries when they're planning their outreach, stakeholder outreach strategies, and it's something that we see that country needs very often. So thank you so much for this amazing work done. And dear colleagues, if you are in the WOOC lab, you can still submit your answers. You have like a few seconds left.
Yes.
Yeah, and as Melina said, if you want to discuss it, if you have more questions, please submit them in the Q&A box so we can address them later. Melina touched upon a very important part of these packages, and this part was about how we adapt them to the context. Checklist was very good tool, I think, and I really encourage everyone to have such checklists and check all your materials towards them. But we also have here our colleague Sumin Bear, who you all know really well, and she has prepared a short presentation on how to actually adapt and use these packages in the national context. So Sumin is our GGKP consultant who is supporting the NEEP project, and I'm now inviting you, Sumin, to start your presentation.
Thank you very much, Elena, for the introduction, and thank you very much, Melina, for the great presentation and preparing our packages. My name is Sumin. I think most of you already know me as I'm sending a lot of emails to you, but I think it's my first time to speak in our global workshop, and it's a very huge honor, and I'm very pleased to share the outreach packages that Melina prepared for the month. So I would like to share a little bit of the background of this work. We started to work on the outreach strategy for this global NIP updated project since 2024. And I think some of you already participate in the session, but we had a little regional workshop with the countries. And at that time, we could have some opportunity to listen to the country's experience on their outreach activities and their concerns and some of the challenges as well. And we learned that actually a lot of countries are having some challenges regarding how to use the outreach materials and the expertise as well. And that's how we started to work on these outreach packages. So at the end, we developed these two packages for general public and the private sector, and we will disseminate, we will distribute all the materials with the countries through our regional centers. So for my session, as you now understand how is the contents and the objectives and the usage of these packages, let me just like show a little tutorial how you can really use these packages in your actual work. So let me share my screen. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, we see your screen, but not the slides, just the general
Yeah.
screen.
Thank you. Yeah, I am not gonna show you the slides now, but I'm gonna show how the package you're gonna constitute. So for example, I brought an example for the BCRC Uruguay. So for each regional center, they're gonna have our strategy for each region. And this strategy will have some of the recommendation for each region and the country profiles and this supporting tools as the annexes. And the Annex 3 and 4 are the packages as you can see. So for the other tools, we also have some initial outreach letter template so that countries can use for their engagement and outreach for the private sector. And we will also include some information note for outreach plans so that the countries can use the strategy for their concrete outreach plans and activities. And for the Annex 3 and 4, as already shared, the outreach packages on private sector and general public will be included. And for the Annex 5, we will also share the implementation guide, how countries can easily localize, adapt, and use those materials for their needs. So let me show this annexes now. And for the format, as you can see, the Annex 3 and 4 gonna be shared in two formats. One of them will be in the Word file, which Melina kindly shared before, and the other format will be the PPT file, which will be editable for your needs. And the other element is regarding the visual element. As for the PowerPoint slides, maybe the countries will need to use like different kind of the photo stocks and icons. We developed some of them for the countries. So for example, for the icons, I think it's not coming. Like this, you will have some of the icons for its action points. And we will also have some photo stocks for its stakeholder groups and the private sector groups. For example, if you want to replace the images that you would like to have for your needs, you can use different kind of the photos that include here. So we will share all these photo stocks with you countries. And now we will go to the annex. Let me share one of the example for the general public. So this is gonna be our average packages in PPT format. So it's kind of the materials or sample that you can use for your needs. So there are gonna be contents for its stakeholder groups, and it starts from the abbreviation of the list, and then some of the introduction of the packages, and you go to each sector. For each sector, it consists of the short like headings and the contents itself. And as I've already explained that these images can be replaced for your needs. And you can also change the text so that you can, maybe if you want to focus more on the posts or PCBs, or maybe you can only leave those kind of the contents and delete other things. And you can also change your photos as you want. For example, maybe if you want to change this photo, if you don't like it, you can just delete it and find some photos from the visual elements folder so that you can easily replace it with other things like this. And you can also change the colors, fonts, like everything. And the other thing is all about the QR codes. As you can see, there is some QR code section field so that you can create one for your own pages or social medias and then put in here so that your stakeholders can easily access to your website or the social media. And for the private sector, we would like to show some of the example as the fact sheet, as Melina showed already. So as you already have the text and all the contents, the only thing that you need to decide is regarding the designs and the materials, like the format, which you're gonna decide. So it is also the case, the text is exactly the same with the Word file, and it has been already consulted or our private sector experts in UNEP and the regional centers and countries as well. So you can use this materials to use your own materials and the packages to outreach and engage your stakeholders. So, and one of the options that I also wanted to show is using Canva. We will also share the links to the Canva for this material so that you can have another option to use them. And for example, for the global public, as Melina explained, we have the glossary section at the end. And if you want to like share your outreach materials only with the NGOs, maybe you can just collect them and the glossary section and deleting those things. You can easily export that in the PDF format only with the slides that would like to include. And you can see only the parts with the environmental activities and NGOs with the glossary section. This can be one other option. And another thing that I would like to explain here is regarding the translation, because the Canva has automate translate option in 134 languages. If you like to change the language, for example, to the French, you can also change the tone of the voice, or you can just click it. You can have the same slide, but in French. Of course, you will need to adjust the text a bit as it's not going to be the same size in English, but it'll be, I think, one of the very useful options for the countries if you wanted to engage, especially the local people in the ground. And we also have this images at the fact sheet in the Canva as well, so that you can change the images using our photo stocks, or you can also search for the images the Canva has. And if you don't like this kind of the fact sheet, or you don't like to change the format, you can also go here and search for the template and maybe search for the fact sheet. And you will also have different kind of the option that you might use. And the only thing that you should do is just changing the text from here. And you can change it just to NGOs regarding the fact sheet of POPs with some of the details and explanation on that. And the usage of these materials can be very diverse, especially if you are engaging to like private sector or the general public. If you like to engage them with the trainings or the workshop, you can export it in the format of the PPT files. Or if you like to distribute it and through the social media, you can export that in the images, or if you also can export it in the PDF file so that the countries can use it. So there will be a lot of options that you can take for your needs, and we will share all the materials with you through the regional centers. And in the case that you are not included in our Global NEP Update project, please contact to us for GGKP so that we can share the materials so that you can use for your needs. And if you have any issues or need some support using those kind of the materials, we are always happy to assist you. So please contact us if you have any questions regarding it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sumin. This is incredible. Speaking as a communication specialist, I see message in the chat asking for the presentations to be shared. Yes, the presentation will be shared in the follow-up email. You will receive this information. Thank you so much for this. So now we have very comprehensive guidance from Melina with all the segmentations of these two large group of stakeholders, with all the approaches, checklists, messaging that you can use across all your channels, across all your communication. And Sumin presented very ready-to-use things that you can take and start using immediately. You don't need to design anything yourself. Basically, it's all ready for you, and this multilingual option is great. Just a kind reminder that we always need to check the AI translation before we disseminate it, but still it makes our lives so much more easy. But I wanted to say that today we're truly lucky that we don't only have our amazing experts with this guidance, but we also have representatives of the countries who kindly agreed to share their own from the ground experiences of how they perform this awareness raising outreach work in their countries. So I would like to invite our colleagues from Seychelles. It's Eulalie Seburi, who is the chair of the Pesticides Inventory Group from the Seychelles Ministry of Health, and Clive Gonzalez, who is the technical consultant on the NEP project. So, dear colleagues, please turn on your cameras and join us. I understand, Sumin, that you will help with the slides, right? Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Elena, and very good presentation, Sumin. My name is Cliff Gonzalez, and I'm the lead consultant for the NEP review in Seychelles. I've worked on the NEP review in the past, and I've had experience with consultations. I am not a communications expert, but I have done training in chemicals, and I know a lot about how we can communicate this very complex topic into a language where everybody can understand. So I just took some notes when the other presenters were presenting. I would like perhaps to showcase our experience, especially with the NEP update, and the various consultations that we did. One of the things that we have done in the past, and we've done it again here, is to include a lot of the stakeholders in the NEP review itself. So a lot of the government offices, a lot of the private sector, they are part of the NEP update group. So we set up 4 groups and we get them to participate. So let me share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Cliff, but not in the, yes, now we can see it. Yeah. All
Okay.
good.
So, like I was saying, we had the 4 groups. We had a group on the pesticides, a group on the industrial, a group on unintentional POPs, institutional and legal. And these people were from all these organizations. So there and then, not only they become aware of the issue, but we are also sort of building capacity. And here is a sort of a list of all the agencies that were present during our NEP update. And there you see people from the Environment Department, people from Waste Management, Fire and Rescue Services. So we don't really need to go to the Fire and Rescue Services to tell them about POPs and chemicals, because there's a person already working with us on that. Department of Agriculture, same thing. And my colleague Eulalie is also the registrar of pesticides. So we had her as well part of the NEP update. Border control officers, for example, customs, they are key. And there it is important that we do not try and force the custom officers to know about all these chemicals, the name and all, but so that they are aware and they know who to call if they have a suspicious cargo and being imported. And of course, academia, Ministry of Tourism, private consultants, so quite a lot of different stakeholders. And there you see some of them. So I will skip this one, but we also did a lot of the training with inventory, and this is an opportunity. I think perhaps sometimes we miss the importance of training, awareness workshop, because this also help raise sort of the awareness of people attending. And in small communities, I'm from a small island developing state, and in small communities, person to person chatting is a very effective way to move information. So people will go out and then talk to each other. I will agree with Milena that digital means come first. I think it's something that we need to do. But like I said, in small communities, it's also very effective to have site visits and talk to people directly. And here maybe Ali will cover how she went about these sort of visits. But we have, for example, in pesticides, the group that were involved with the NEP update visited at least 10% of the importers. So they check the stores, check what are the issues. And it is a way to sort of sensitize and raise awareness as well. But we had certain issues, as you know, doing this sort of work. NEP update is a technical exercise, and usually there is low sort of awareness of these chemicals, and we have to do all these, like I said, capacity building to transfer information. So this is our experience with updating the NEP, and I was very fortunate to work with Canva that Sumin covered, and I think it's a very, very effective tool. I've used it for non-POPs but chemical related work, And I think it's a super initiative, and it will really catalyze the impact, because at the moment it's very difficult to use traditional means to communicate chemical related information. I think I will stop there, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to present.
Would you join Eulalie to add something from your side?
Good afternoon, all, and thank you for the previous presenters. It was very good information. Can you hear me properly?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can hear you well.
It was very good informative information that can be easily used and translated into the awareness or in outreach program. But here in Seychelles, we haven't gone into that actually deep into that. There are activities with the plan, which will include those outreach program, I think, no, Cliff?
Right.
I will talk about just about the experience as a registrar and what we did on the field when we were doing the inventory for the pesticide. Actually, my role it goes beyond regulating the pesticide. I'm also a public health officer. We do visits, and it's some sort of a program when we go for those visits and inspect the users and the applicators and everything. It goes beyond making the stakeholders understand the responsibilities and the potential health and environmental implications associated with pesticide. I'm talking about pesticide because this was the area that I've worked on. The experience mostly with the pesticide importers. It must be noted that we just import pesticide. We do not manufacture. We do not do anything apart from importing and using the pesticide. Some importers has very limited understanding of the registration requirement as part of for the registrar. Most of them, you'll find that they are more familiar with the trade name rather than the active ingredient, which is what we look for when they are importing the pesticide. And they have very limited awareness of international restriction or ban product. These are the things that we've observed that can help when we are planning the awareness program. But what we do when we do see these issues, we provide the guidance for the registration. We discuss the safety and documentation requirements, and then we more or less promote the compliance with the legal obligation that is. But in the agricultural related companies, what we observe, again, they need more technical guidance on the pesticide management. And actually, they need to know the effectiveness of the alternative, which has lower risk, and then balancing the commercial needs and the safety measures. This is what we experience. But for the backyard farming and end users that we explain, they rely mostly on traditional practices. They have challenges interpreting the label and the instruction. You find limited use of pesticide equipment in some of the situations. And here in Seychelles, the problem is most of the farm workers, especially. These are the ones that apply the pesticide. They are not Seychelles, most of them. We have the thing of the language barrier. In the process of for them to be able to register, we do have a training. They have to have what we call the competency certificate, but they are not the one who attend those training. These are most of the time we find the business owner or the administrator of that business attending the training for them to have the competence certificate for them to register. But when it comes to applying the pesticide, it is those workers. And these challenging, it's more or less the same of what happened when we did the site visit again for the inventory. But one key observation was that many stakeholders were very receptive to the on-site guidance, particularly when the discussion were linked with the practical issues identified during the inspection, such as the improper storage of the pesticide, the inadequate labeling, we have the presence of expired and some unidentified products. We also find that they have limited awareness on the ban or restricted chemicals. And this is also an area where the outreach can be developed, the program. For the pesticide import and distributed during the inventory, most of the time it was the improvement on awareness for the regulatory requirement, particularly with registration and approval of active ingredients. And then to make them understand the needs for the registration of their companies and the pesticide they are importing in accordance to the international convention. We also have to encourage them on better record keeping and traceability of those products. Again, in the agricultural sector, we had what we call, there was a tendency to rely on, like I said before, the product trade name rather the active ingredient.
Yeah.
And they limited awareness on the safe handling and dosage and the environmental risk. Okay, occasionally they use unregistered or inappropriate chemical. They do come in sometimes in suitcases from overseas. They don't go through the proper channel so that we can verify what it is being imported.
Yeah.
Okay, these are the challenges and the things that we learn on the field and during the process of registering the farmers and the pesticide.
Thank you so much, Yulali. It's very important to understand these challenges that are not very visible sometimes from the global perspective, but very visible when you work on the ground. And thank you, Cliff, for sharing your experiences. And it is my pleasure to introduce the last speaker for today, who is joining from Cameroon. It's Haman Balou from the Ministry of Environment, Nature Protection, Sustainable Development, to speak on their experience from the PCB project in Cameroon. Haman, can you join us now? Hello. Haman, can you hear us? Okay, I think that we have issues with the sound. Let's try again. Can you hear us, Haman? Can you hear us? Okay, I'm afraid that we have a connection issue here. So let's do the last attempt probably. And wait for a couple more seconds. Haman, can you hear us? I'm afraid that we're having a connection issue with Haman. Yeah, but I hope that if we can't resolve it within next couple of minutes to finish this webinar with the presentation from Cameroon, then it will be shared with all the participants in the follow-up email. But unfortunately, right now, it seems that we cannot connect. Yeah, so Haman, Can you hear us? No connection. Yeah. Very sorry, but unfortunately, we don't have a connection with our Cameroon colleagues. So yes, we will share the experience in the follow-up. Oh, yes, Haman, we can see your slides, but we cannot hear you. Right. Okay. No, still no sound. Can you try again? Hello? 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 No, I'm afraid that yeah.
Yeah, I'm afraid that he cannot connect with the internet at this moment. So it's very unfortunate, but
Yeah.
we really look forward to hearing from Cameroon because they really have great experience and story regarding the outreach and the awareness raising. So if I have chance, I think we may have some interview with the Cameroon colleagues and we will share all the lessons learned with the participants here as well. So unfortunately, we can hear from Cameroon today, but we will get back to this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sumin. Yes, sir. This is the final minutes of our webinar today. Thank you, everyone who joined us today. It was a very interesting webinar. And I wanted to highlight one thing that we heard several times from our speakers today, that they are not professional communicators. They're not working in communications, but still they were speaking about their experiences, sharing their findings about how to reach out to their audiences. And I think this is exactly why we need such guidance, why we need to build this work together, because not always we can afford having a dedicated communication person or team for the project in every country, but we still need to reach out to our stakeholders. We still need to do it in the most effective and efficient way. And that is exactly why these packages were designed, to support people who are not communicators, who has other things to do and who are not professionals specifically in this field, to be able to still perform effective outreach for their projects. And I hope that these new packages will really help you, dear colleagues, in your work. And I'm very grateful for inviting me to moderate this session. It was very interesting. And thank you to our speakers today. Thank you to our interpreters who are working for an hour and a half on a very complicated topic. And thank you to all participants. Very sorry that we couldn't hear the Cameroon presentation, but it will be shared later. And we also will be sharing some experiences from Kenya, who also prepared something to share with us, but they could not join the webinar today. So this all will come in the follow-up email that you will receive, and also this will be shared in the Green Forum. I'm sure that you all are familiar with the Green Forum, but if you're not part of it, please join the group. Sumin shared it in the chat. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day and see you soon for our next webinar. Thank you.
Thank you very
Goodbye.
much.
Thank you. Bye.
Hello there. My name is Edward Njuguna from the Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Forestry here in Kenya, under the Department of Multilateral Environmental Agreements, specifically focusing on chemicals and waste mayors. So currently I'm coordinating the update of the National Implementation Plan under the Stockholm Convention, and we are currently in the last phases of data collection on POPs inventories in the country. What we have realized from our data collection exercise is that the levels of awareness of the Stockholm Convention and generally POPs in the country is low, especially among these industry players that we have been visiting, and also among the public. So what we are trying to do during our exercises, we are first starting off with creating awareness, what is the Stockholm Convention, what is the objective of the Stockholm Convention, and what it means to list some of these chemicals under the different annexes under the Stockholm Convention, that is Annex A, B, and C. So we are very grateful to GGKP for developing these outreach packages that are targeted for the private sector, most of which is from where we are collecting data from, the leather industry, the textile industry, the iron industry, and many others that could be potential sources of POPs, and also the other information packages focusing on the general public, and in the implementation guide of how to disseminate these information packages. So I think these packages come at the right time when we are almost, when we are updating our NEP, and we'll be also creating awareness because it has a NEP awareness creation component. We'll utilize these packages once they are endorsed and validated. I think they'll be very helpful and very instrumental for Kenya as we try and create a campaign on POPs and the Stockholm Convention in general. Let's say that we have a multi-sectoral committee on sound chemicals management in the country that is composed of different players from the public sector, from the private sector, academia, and civil society. So initially, we have been using these to try and create awareness on POPs, but as the information or the levels are still low. But with these new packages, we believe that we will move quite a milestone, or we will achieve much more in terms of raising the awareness level of POPs and the Stockholm Convention. So we intend to use basically one of the members being the Kenya Association of Manufacturers that represents over 1,000 manufacturing industries in the country, just for them to disseminate these packages through their channels. We also intend to use local media, social media, and awareness creation campaigns just to improve, or rather increase the level of awareness of POPs in the country. So apologies, I was not able to participate, rather I'll not be able to participate in the webinar that we were supposed to, parties were supposed to share experiences on their communication strategies in terms of raising awareness on POPs. But happy to have shared Kenya's experience, and looking forward to interacting with parties just to share experiences on once we start using these packages developed by GGKP. Thank you so much.